It's Leah and DJ, rise and shine for you across the nation on Vision. And Leah, he's back again. We haven't scared him away. Had a break last fortnight over a Vision-a-thon, but you hear it's Jason Perkins in the house.
Hey,
thanks for coming in.
It is great to be back. And I want to give a quick shout out to all those people that participated in Vision-a-thon.
Look at you
Like, seriously.
go.
No, seriously. Without people supporting, this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say a huge thanks to all of the people that are participating in Vision-a-thon and did participate. Thanks for doing that, because we get to do what we're doing because of you.
I love it. I love it. Now, listen, we're getting to the pointy end of the year.
Yeah.
All right, it's the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
December's around the corner.
It's the business end.
Christmas trees are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If your Christmas tree is already out,
Mine's already
Yeah,
out.
I know.
I
Come
did
on.
not hold back.
Okay, it's getting down to at the end of the year. The season's picking up.
Yes.
Plans are happening.
Oh.
How in the world do we look after our soul at this time of the year?
Yeah. Well, I've got one small tip
Okay.
that we're going to get to this week, and then we'll maybe talk about some future stuff. But the small tip is this. It's around the pace of your life during this season. And I always like to remind myself of this. I say it this way. Life is not a race, so live at a slower pace.
Okay.
Life is not a race, so live at a slower pace. Now, here's...
But how do I win?
Yeah. Well, you just nailed it, DJ. We have been trained since our very earliest days, our earliest memories. Think about it. Your teacher said to you, the first person that finishes this gets to go to recess first,
Right.
lunch first, gets to get a lolly from the lolly jar first. And then the kids, when they went to the swimming carnival or the athletics carnival, who got ribbons?
Yeah.
Person that came in last? No way. Always first, second, and third. So we were just built into our DNA from a very early age, this idea that whoever is fast and efficient wins, and they're successful. That's our dashboard of success, is fast and efficient. But the reality is that is not the way you care for your soul. In fact, that's a way to kill your soul.
Ooh.
So we'll talk more about how do we slow down today, because I think it's important in this season.
All right. So we're going to slow right. I don't know if that works for radio, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Notice I speed up when I'm talking about slowing down.
Maybe not for breakfast radio. Maybe it's for a little bit later on. Leah and I are, sometimes we're just dragging ourselves around this building. I'm just being honest here, Leah. We're dragging ourselves around because
It's true.
We've been working too hard.
It's been a big year.
Doing 400 things at once. How many more things can we pile onto our plates? And we just think, we're doing it for Jesus. Let's go. This is for the kingdom. Can you do this? Yes, we can squeeze something else into here. But you're coming in saying, maybe we need to slow down. Where did this crazy idea come from?
Madman. What is this?
It really comes from, honestly, looking at the life of Jesus in the Gospels. If you look at every single one of the Gospels and look at Jesus' life, he never ran anywhere. He was never late to something. He was never in a hurry. He wasn't running. Lots of people ran to him. You'll read stories of people running to him or running ahead to be able to get a look at him. Remember the guy that ran ahead, went up a tree?
Yes.
All those kinds of stories. But Jesus wasn't on the run. He never was. In fact, there's a famous story, I love this one, of a guy whose daughter was dying. And they came to Jesus and said, hey, can you come to the house and heal my daughter? She's literally about to die. And it says Jesus immediately went and got on a chariot and raced over to the guy. No, Jesus didn't do that. It says Jesus just went, and actually the crowd slowed him down. He stopped and healed another lady that had been suffering for 12. Like all these things, you're like, Jesus, hurry up. In fact, they came to Jesus and said, don't bother him anymore. She's already dead. The daughter's dead. And no, Jesus went, healed this little girl. And also, the same age this girl was healed was the same time this lady that was struggling with this medical condition. Jesus knew all along for the 12 years, hey, listen, no need to rush. I've got this.
Yeah.
And I think he's showing us that we can live a life. I love the way Mike Todd says this, pastor in the States in Oklahoma. He says this, Jesus always walked at a pace of grace. And I want to start living my life where I live at a pace where I experience God's grace, and then I get to extend God's grace to other people.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's key. So that's what we're talking about with slowing down.
Okay. But how do I experience God's grace? How do I do this unless my schedule's full? I'm, if I don't get to, if someone stops me in the hallway or I see someone at church, and the phrase that every man has to say when a bloke asks you how you're doing, you go, Yeah, well, things are pretty busy right about now. You've got to use the word busy, all right? Unless, because you're not been living a holy life unless you're busy.
Absolutely. So I love this quote from C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis said this: "We are busy because we are vain." Our busyness equals importance.
Wow.
And it's an identity issue. We talked about this a little bit a couple weeks back with Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know, we're really struggling with not identifying who we are with what we do. We are just beloved children of God, full stop.
Wow.
He loves us no matter what. And so I think what we're talking about with slowing down is we're not identifying with our schedule anymore. We're actually identifying with who God says we are. And slowing down helps us to do that.
Wow.
I can never hear the word busy there. And I joke about busy because it's something I remember being young in, the fantastic, independent Southern Baptist churches that we were raised in. And I never forget this traveling American preacher from down, the South of America came through. And I was an impressionable kid. And he was preaching against busyness.
Really?
And it stuck with me. And I'll never forget that he's thumping the pulpit, he's thumping the KJV down on the thing. And he says, remember, busy, B-U-S-Y, burdened under Satan's yoke.
Wow.
And I was like,
that's good.
It stuck with me. I was probably about 8 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's just made me think all these times, so many times, I want to, like you say, a feeling of importance or a feeling like I'm doing something special. If some person turned around and I said, how you doing? And if they didn't say they were busy, I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And you're obviously not successful because we equate success with busyness. Think about it. Busy restaurant must be a good one. Busy doctor, you can't get in to see them, must be an excellent one. Specialist that's got wide open schedule, I wouldn't go to them to help me with something. They're not good at it, obviously. They're not busy. And so I think we've got to break that from our identity, that success doesn't equal busyness.
Oh,
That's
boy.
so true.
Okay, this is good, especially this time of year. Listen, you're coming back in a couple of weeks. We're going to be in the thick of it. I want you to break down this even more in a couple of weeks because we're going to be in the middle of this crazy Christmas season. How do you not be busy in that time, or what do you do about it? If people have any questions for Perko, what's the best way to do it?
Well, you can do it either on his website, jasonperkins.com, or just hit him up on the socials, Insta, Facebook, all the rest, Jason Perko Perkins.
Too easy. Too easy. Hey, Jason, we'll see you here in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for your time this morning.